So obviously, every bolt in your Miata is important, but these are the only bolts in the car that are wear items. So what we're talking about today is alignment bolts. I've got two styles here. This is the old, if you have like a 90 to maybe just every NA, I'm not sure. I know the early models came with this D-shaped alignment. These have been replaced with what is known as the NB style, which I'm holding in the other hand. These are way stronger. They are dual grooved instead of a single, so they don't slip as easily. And the reason these are important is because they wear out. Cars that are just like a daily driver setup that don't see any sort of real track abuse might not be as big of an issue. But if you autocross your car, the little tangs that hold these in place, they'll actually wear out in this plate. So it has a little bit of play right now, but they will have more and more play, and then eventually your alignment just won't hold. We're replacing these. Shout out to Moss, actually, Moss Miata. We will have a link to these in the description below. We're replacing every one on the track car, even though these are in theory still okay.
Quick story time. When I first got my Miata and I took it to an autocross, I was all excited. I got an alignment. I didn't have the best tires or whatever, but like I had a Miata and I was going to an autocross. Like what could be better? Well, first turn, going around the first cone, I hear this like really loud pop noise.
What the hell was that?
So if you go to a parking lot, you could even just do this in one circle. If you turn your car and start accelerating, you might start hearing like that popping noise, and you might not be able to get it to pop again until you go the other direction. What was actually happening was these eccentric bolts were moving around, and I knew this because I went back to have it realign, and it was all out of whack. What many shops will actually do is they're gonna mark the bolt itself as well as the subframe. They'll draw a hash all the way up, and that can tell if your bolt slips because that hash will be now off. If you notice that the alignment shop doesn't do that marking, you can do it yourself. Just don't drive aggressively until you mark it. Do those markings, it'll give you the peace of mind. If you hear any sort of like noises when you're turning, you'll be able to go underneath the car, check those markings and see if they've moved at all. And if they are, that's where the wear item comes into play. Once they start slipping, they're never not going to slip. So just buy a new one or new ones if there are multiple areas that you're seeing that and replace them.
Another thing to note, when you do get an alignment, the factory torque specs for these is like 65 to 80 foot-pounds, I believe. If you're going to autocross your car, even drive it spiritedly through like some canyon roads or something like that, 115, 120 foot-pounds, I believe Flying Miata calls out as tight as can be tightened with hand tools. So over crank them, go over the torque spec. Again, they are wear items, so you'll be replacing them anyways eventually. You don't want your alignment to slip. You know, you'll cause tire wear, you'll lose grip. You want your wheels to stay where your wheels are meant to be. The link to these is down below in the description. Moss Miata carries these. You can buy all of them from there. It's super easy, super fast shipping. They come bagged from Mazda with Mazda part numbers on them, so it's not a off-brand. If you want to see more detailed breakdowns of things like this, these are kind of like quirky one-off, related to the build, but still important information. Leave a comment down below. Let us know what you thought. Like the video, and make sure you subscribe because we've got some cool content coming your way.
The bolt itself,
I'll call you back in a minute. Is that okay?